like waiting to watch it, but then I reset it back to all private. So people probably think I'm going to go live, but I'm not. Oh man, bad. Um, but anyway, let me just make sure no one is actually watching this. I want a private recording. So right now, I'm looking at an hourly chart, and this is a combination of an ascending triangle and a bit of a horizontal trading range. I'm leaning towards a triangle. So basically, I'm looking at I'm going across my time frames, right? Weekly is starting to look bullish to me. Daily is certainly bullish. 4-hour is pretty bullish. We're kind of stagnated, but we still have, 2 more candles before a 9 comes,
Is it possible to still get a 9 on the weekly?
To the downside, yes. What we have to do is next week has to be as bad as this week was good, right? So a 9 on a weekly is certainly still possible. Okay.
To get a 9, would we have to go below our low on 5 candles?
Right. To get a 9, the close on candle number 9 has to be lower than close on candle number 5. Close on candle number 8 has to be lower than close on candle number 4. So it'll be really easy to get a red 7. Getting a red 8 and a red 9 would require lower closes, but not necessarily lower lows.
Right.
There's a big discrepancy there. Yeah. So, but everything is already leaning bullish. My 4-hour is still okay, and my 1-hour is totally flip-flopping back and forth, right? So I don't really have that much help. So the one thing I can try to do here is I can say, okay, this looks a little like a triangle, and I'm setting this up into lower level time frames, basically. So I can almost make a bit of an ascending triangle here, ignoring this long wick to the downside, which means that I'm kind of leaning bullish here. So if I'm going to take on a lower level trade, so now from 1 hour, I'm going to go into 15 minutes. So if I'm going to take on a trade on a lower level time frame, I want to find a trade to the upside, not to the downside, because I don't want to go against higher level momentum. So the 15-minute chart gave me a nice, a bit of a reversal candle, but my numbers didn't really match up. My 2 is not above the 1. That's fine. So let's zoom in. Let's go to a 10-minute. Just so I have an idea, right? Let's go to a 5-minute. Let's go to a 3-minute. And I don't like taking on trades. You see, this is the problem for me, right? Like, I want to take on a trade, but like right now, a red 2 trading below a red 1 after a 9 is telling me I should look for a short trade here, but I don't want a short trade. I want a long trade. So there's nothing here that I can really do. Let's see what the 1-minute looks like. Again, not great. So if I want to, well, on the 1-minute, the 9 helped me time it, right? So now what I'm looking for is a green 2 to start trading above a green 1, and I would be very interested in a bullish trade. I'm also interested in a bullish trade. Perfect, I'm in. So I would be in as I was watching. So that's what I was looking for. Well, you have to be ready for buy. I told you what I was looking for to enter my bullish trade, right? I can even enter it later. What I was going to say was, before that really happened, is I can still enter it here as it goes above this high, right? But either way, like, either way, like, had I known this candle was about to close, I didn't know how much time was left in it. I wish I would have looked at this like 30 seconds earlier. But the idea is, here is a decent trade with the 2 trading above the 1. even if you jumped on it late. And I always like to double down, so I would actually double down right here at in the current area. There isn't one. That's the thing. It's kind of way up there, right? Um, uh, so we're in this bullish trade no matter what. Like probably somewhere in the middle here, right? So the question is, oh no, that's my entry. I haven't put the stop loss in yet. It would be the swing low, exactly. So that's my entry, assuming I missed the perfect one. That's my entry. My stop loss, and I'll make that blue, would be initially the swing low. At this point, I would actually raise it to this low. And if we get above this blue line, I'm pretty much raising it to below that candle, but not yet. There you go, right? So at this point, I'm raising it to here, and I can't wait to raise it above my entry. But the point was to enter this thing so you're immediately in the green, not guessing where the dip is or where the dip's going to end. That's a good sign. Just, I mean, you don't want it to close on a shooting star. And again, I'm watching my counts because if this gets to a 9, I'm probably going to look to take my profit. I really want to see this 4 candle close at the high, and if it does, I'm putting in a break-even stop loss. Now, in reality, I would not be using 1-minute candles. In reality, I would be using the same thing for daily candles, right? And for daily candles, I clearly would not miss this entry by 3 seconds, right? I mean, if these are daily candles, I got like half a day to get the shit to get a perfect entry, right? But the idea is the same, right? And I'm gaining confidence as I go above this high and I go above this line. So again, that's not the 4 candle that I wanted to see. Let's see what the 5 candle brings us.
When you raise that bar, are you actually setting your limit?
Stop loss. Yeah.
So would your stop loss then go up to the bottom of the 3 candle at this point?
It was let me just wait for this candle to end, and then I can tell you guys, which is only like 13 seconds away.
Pretty much with your style to enter a trade, you have to be a market taker. You can't be a make, like you can't just set this buy. I think I might get to here because on GDEX everything's free if you're a market maker, but in order to take the price, as soon as it starts trading above, you have to pay their fee.
Yeah, I was never scared of fees. Like, don't be scared of fees. This is my whole argument for Robinhood app. I'm like, if you're trading on Robinhood for the free fees, you're like that's not how you want to trade. Exactly. At this point, I'm setting a stop loss just above my entry. Because at this point, like again, even if I miss my trade by 5 seconds, like I mean, realistically, this trade is entered not there but here. Okay, with an option to double down up there, so the average price would be down the middle of the candle, right? But you've doubled down, so it's in a bigger trade. Now, I really want to see a higher high here above a 4, and then I can really raise this thing to there. But for now, I'm still down here.
Now, if you had just gotten here, that 5 was above the 4, you wouldn't take the trade at that point. It'd be
too late.
Too late.
Too late.
How far do you set the buy price and the stop price? Because like those spikes like that can sometimes like stop you out, and then like didn't really do what you wanted to do just because it's like a flash.
Well, again, this is why I hate using small time frames. And on small time frames, you have to set a fairly loose stop loss because you don't want a spike to just take you out. Which is why Again, it's going to be a problem for most people, including myself, which is why you don't really want to set a stop loss and you want to just watch the market and you want to just be disciplined enough to exit when you need to exit. The problem is if you don't set a stop loss, you're never going to be disciplined enough to actually exit. This is where, again, I like option trading. All right, so I'm almost, if I get a price flip, I'm out. Mm-hmm. Try not to get bored and do something stupid. You don't. Yes, Mike.
Doesn't a price flip, can't that just reset the count to move higher?
Yes, but you can always enter it if it does. If your price flip is resetting to go higher, you once again re-enter when a 2 starts trading above a green 1. You do nothing. You wait.
There's usually violent, like ups or downs right after.
Still wait.
This flat, this plateau.
That's why I raise like.
That's where the bots are gonna fucking.
This is where I'm raising my stop loss to.
It's gonna go like.
And if the 9 is a giant up candle, I'll probably take it, right? So I'm actually. Nope, didn't hit it yet. And then I have another stop. Didn't hit it yet. Now it hit it. Done. I'm out. Okay. So that was the trade, right? So with a proper entry, down here, 10,770, 10,770, and your exit takes place 10,796. So that's only a $15 move, but it's not about like the dollar value. It's about the concept of how and when to take a trade. Again, I made sure that I looked for a bullish opportunity because my environment is bullish. I stayed away from the bearish trades unless I saw this monster fall off of a 9. Then I might have made an exception, right? But I was not going to go on some random red 2 trading below a red 1 in a bullish environment. But I was going to go in on some random 2 trading above a green 1 in a bullish environment. And then I adjusted my stop losses accordingly. And what I was going to do on this candle that was supposed to be a 9 candle, and now you see why I exited up here.
Now, would you consider your green 8 as a 9 potentially?
No,
Using that red 1?
no, I didn't have to because when this candle started, it did show me a 9.
Sure.
So I didn't have to consider the 8 as a 9. I saw a 9, right? And the alerts that we're trying to add to the indicator, you would actually, like the problem is it's much easier to set an alert upon the closing of a candle. We're trying to create the alert. If this candle showed you a 9 at any point, you would get an alert, even if it didn't close that way. It becomes too much. Like we're trying to because there's a lot of stuff with the arrows. We're trying to like keep it to that. Now, was there a short trade here the moment a red 2 started trading below a red 1? Maybe, but I'm not interested in taking it because we're in a bullish environment. Now, if I had a 9 with the reversal candle, maybe I would have considered a stab at a short, but not in this environment, right? Because like you said, I didn't know if this was going to reset me for a new upwards count. So I don't want to do that, right? So if anything, I would wait for a brand new bullish setup and try to take that trade. Right here. Right, but if this took place in the cross, I would be more interested in it. But because the cross is happening so far outside my range, I don't really care for it.
indicates that's gonna go like
Right, it indicates you're gonna go higher, but I don't. But if I enter the trade, I can still go down into here, and meanwhile, still, well, I'm still right. We're gonna go higher, but now I'm sitting on a giant loss, right? So I wouldn't do that. I want to make sure that I'm instantly profitable, like what happened on this trade. I'm in cash right now. Like again, I would look for another bullish trade. So ideally, I want this thing to stagnate a little bit. Give me a green 1, give me a green 2 above a green 1, and then we try the trade again.
Now here, if you had a red number that it was a reversal candle, would you
No.
enter somewhere around there?
If this was if this actually makes it to a red 9 and gives me a reversal candle, I can't wait to do that.
But not before.
No. No, and there was another video when there was like a beautiful reversal candle on a 4, daily even. And I'm like, well, no, if this was a 9, I would be more interested in that reversal candle, but not on a 4. Horizontal or like sideways? I mean, I don't really see much here. Now I'm liking this action a little bit. Now I'm being patient. 1 second. It's easy to be patient when you're in front of a bunch of people. It's a lot harder. Yeah, it's also easier to be patient at 1 minute level. It's a lot harder to be patient when there's nobody looking over your shoulder. Yeah.
Also, if the green 8 was a green 9, then the 1, 2, 3
Right.
down puts you at 12. 4 is the 13, which is reversing the market. And now we're heading up.
No, 13 wouldn't matter because 13 has to be to the upside, not to the downside. 13 is a completely separate count. And like I said, the 8 didn't have to be a 9. The 1 flashed me a 9 for a minute. For not a minute, like a second, because a minute candles. If it was for a minute. Oh, I'm in. By the way, I'm in bullish.
Yeah, and the separate,
I'm in the trade.
count is the smaller numbers below, right?
Yeah.
The 13.
Yes.
You have to have a 9 before you start
Yeah.
going to the 13 though, right?
So I'm in the trade once again. As of here, my stop loss is down there. Let's see how good of a trade this is.
So that's with your theory of assuming a 9-point.
Yes.
Trade after that.
Correct. And again, this is what you would do with daily candles. This is not a good strategy for 1 minute candles, but I have no choice, right? Yeah, I should also take a look at like 3 minute and 5 minute. Probably would have been much better. And 5 minute. Yeah, see, this is a rough environment to be long right now, considering a 5 minute is a popular time frame for traders, and that's on a 9 sell. Now, see what I mean? Coming off a 9. This is the kind of 9 I want to trade. It's a reversal candle off of a 9. Your next candle was immediately profitable, and while oh, there goes the stop loss, and while you still traded down, you never went below your low. So if you're entering a bullish trade off of this 5 minute 9, your stop loss was never hit. Your additional bullish trade, a double down, or if you missed it, shows up where this 3 starts trading above the 2. It takes you right into a 9 sell, and now this is the 1 to 4 candle reversal off the 5 minute 9. We can also look at the 10-minute chart, which also seemed to have bottomed. See, this is what I mean about I want to see a reversal candle on candle 8, 9, or following candle. So this 8 candle doji set me up very nicely, bless you. This 8 candle doji on the 10-minute set me up very nicely for this 9. So in fact, I don't even have to wait for this 9 candle to close. I can start jumping on this trade once it starts trading above the doji of candle number 8 with a stop loss below the swing low, which is also candle number 8.
Would that have shown a green one there
Where?
to start before it turned to the 9?
Not before it turned to at one point it would have, because it would have gotten higher than the 5 close.
Okay.
But it started off as a 9. At one point it wasn't, but then eventually it closed at a 9. Okay. But either way, you had a trade because this 8 candle is clearly a reversal candle. Sure.
Earlier I noticed like I don't know what to call it, like with like peppermint stripes. It was like alternating like for a while, like pretty consistent. Down. Does that indicate an inflection point?
Not to me.
No.
What do you mean, like this?
Over a little bit. A little more. Yeah. So like that, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe that like 9, 1, 2, 2, 2. Thing. Those look like maybe the bottom.
No, nothing here really helps me. And again, like I'm looking at this chart, right? Here's what's helping me. A 9 right here at the very low. And the 9 right here at the very low, right? Like that's what's helping me. Nothing on top is helping me time a down trade. But again, another 9 here following an 8 reversal candle, right? So the 5-minute, since 4 a.m. this morning. Oh, here's another 9. I missed that one because it was 9 down, but it wasn't very helpful. But the 9s at the lows were very helpful, and we're now coming off another 9. I still think this is going to go to the upside, just a 1 to 4 candle correction, then back up.
I think we're in a ascending triangle right now.
Yeah. I mean, I drew it using like hourly candles, I think, but I can adjust it. Right, but I can adjust this thing.
You look at it on the 4-hour.
I can get it back to, here's 30 minutes.
Did you say that the countdown is only valid for an uptrend?
No. It's now valid for a downtrend too. You just need a setup first. 4-hour. Oh wait, I didn't want to do it on that time. I have a whole separate one for the 4-hour. Right, for the 4-hour kind of stagnated, but you still have like I'm still waiting for my 9, right? So hopefully it'll pop some more. I'm still bullish right here, so I would still be looking for bullish trades. That's the S&P 500. So if I go back to like 5 minutes. I mean, I would wait for this to be a 1 and then a 2 trading above the 1, and then I would take the trade. That's the 3-minute chart. Here's the 1-minute chart. Right. So you just really gotta stay patient and wait for your perfect trade, right? I mean, ideally, I want to wait for some nines and trade off of the nines. Uh, and that's what Wall Street do. They want to try to catch these rolling nines or rolling nines into 13s. And then once it gets choppy, you dump the asset and move on. There's always another asset giving you a nine to trade on.
Can you send an alert off these indicators?
We're trying.
Okay.
We're
When you say you
trying.
do it, I think can you do it on some of them, or do you have to enable that?
Well, we're trying to do it for this indicator, right? We're trying to give you an alert anytime something with an arrow shows up.
I asked how you would read the 4 hour, because I'm having trouble kind of understanding, I guess, 13s.
Yeah, I haven't really found the 13s all that useful.
I mean, are they more just like a potential indicator that we might be, running out of steam as far as the trend goes?
Yeah, that's what they're normally used
But
for.
you
Yeah,
primarily put your emphasis on the nine.
I do. Yeah, but like traditional traders love the 13.
I know it seems like I've seen a lot of 13s just looking at different things, and they don't necessarily. They tend to be. It seems like they tend to be ignored more uh, than I was hoping they would.
Yeah, because if you get a 9 while you're trying to go for a 13, that 13 is almost irrelevant now, and there's a new one.
Okay, so you would disregard this aggressive 13 in favor of the upward momentum of 7 and the ascending trend.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Well, at the moment, yeah. At the moment, I'm almost disregarding this aggressive 13 because, well, here was the other 13. Yeah, it did come from this 9, but you are in this bullish trend and you're sitting in an area with no resistance. And you do have a target from the head and shoulders or from the cup and handle, whichever one you like to use. Target is the same. Um, So you're right. I am almost disregarding it. And if anything, I would wait for another 13 to come from this 9, like this traditional one, which is currently on a 7. Right there.
And then what is, for the dotted lines, is the length indicate something different?
No. The dotted line will just go on forever, right, until it gets broken. So this red dotted line was created from this 9 down here. So when you got this 9 to the downside, you take the uppermost tick in the candles that made that 9 and you draw your resistance line or setup trend line as it's called. So you wait for a bullish 9 to break it in the opposite direction to set you up for more upside. If you get a 9 like this below that setup trend line, it's a higher probability that the bears are still in control. But once you get a candle close above that line, that line gets deleted, and ideally you want to get a 9 above that dotted line because it sets up that 9 as more likely to have a 1 to 4 day reversal and then go all the way up. If you got a 9 below the line, it's more likely that it can still be a 1 to 4 candle reversal and up, but it's also more likely this 9 is going to lead to a 9 on the opposite direction. And then the green line is the same way. So here's the last green line that we got. And this green line comes from this 9 right above it. And it takes the lowest point in what created this green 9. And now it acts in the opposite direction. Like if you're going to start getting red 9s, you want them to stay above this green dotted line in order for these 9s to be more of reversal timed mechanisms instead of continuation mechanisms. Okay.
So should we similarly look for that point to be
in this case, support? Or is it more just an indicator?
It's more of an indicator, but like I occasionally look at it as support.
But only one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it disappears afterwards, right?
Well, it disappears once it's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or not. But if it's not, then it's still there.
Right. Right. It also disappears if there's another one above it, right? Like this green line disappeared when this one showed up.
So you just added them in just for reference?
What do you mean?
Well, you said they disappear after the new one forms?
Well, it kind of stops, right? Because now you have a higher one.
Okay, it stops.
Doesn't really disappear, but like it stops moving to the right because you had another green line, a green 9, so this one is no longer relevant. So it stops. You can make these lines thicker, right? Like the code is somewhat adjustable. You can make those setup trend lines, thicker.
You drew a line through 6,000. Kind of looks like a mirror image. That means like we're gonna hit all those same prices in a similar fashion.
Which part is like a mirror image?
But like draw a line through 6,000.
I have it here.
A vertical.
Oh, vertical line here.
It looks like we'll be or something. Are we gonna go that way? Like 11.7 or whatever.
I mean, we could. I mean, again, like I have this target from the cup and handle. After we meet this target, let's see if there's any other shapes in here that set us up for more upside.
I think it's those shapes that we already saw.
These? They're becoming less relevant because they're so long ago. Well, it's more like general thing. You can't even tell the candles apart anymore. So, I mean, you can only zoom out so far, right? These are 4-hour candles. So now we're talking like 3 weeks ago, As long as it's obviously recognized on a chart, like again, you can only zoom out so far before your candles start to become useless. And to me, that's not relevant. These shapes aren't relevant anymore. Just too far away.
So I imagine you don't find there's a lot of traders you see online. They're like, well, it's all a fractal from X amount of time, like 2 months ago, that looks like it's repeating, but you just feel like it there's no bearing at all.
I mean, it's useful a little bit. I do that sometimes myself. I was like, hey, the last time a giant triangle of this scale took place was back in 2015. So this is what you are to expect. I mean, I do that as well, but that's repeating like shapes. It's more like that shape. It doesn't need to be repeating. The point is that shape alone should tell you something. But if you need proof, it actually happened before on the same asset.
Okay.
So in terms of that reference, I use it. Or as another example where I did that, if I go to my website and I go to publications, it was around the time I did that triangle. So it would have been intro to patterns or something. Intro to patterns or intro to volume? Let's try intro to patterns. All the articles where I'm teaching about the triangles. It was right after it happened, but I talked about it in a previous article of it happening. Here, like I pointed out that throughout this bullish move, you continuously had like 2 days of upside before more downside. And if we were going to go up, I was going to look for 2 more days of upside before more downside. And let me see if the following article had something similar. I had to do a midweek because it bounced, I think. Oh, this triangle was collapsing. Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, but that one I pointed out. Like I just I said I pointed out this repeating pattern of two green candles in a sea of red continuously. And look at the volume. And I pointed that out as well.
As long as more of like a confirmation of the
Right.
move, not necessarily
Right.
a direct indicator.
Yes. All right, what is this? Oh, these are my 1 minute candles, right? Oh, I totally missed this. Is that my line? Right. Well,
Yeah, bored.
yeah, exactly. Like you can see right here, right? We consolidated into the moving average, which is how you like to see it. And then you just broke out on a 2 going above the 1, right? So once again, your stop loss, your very initial stop loss would have been below the swing low here. That swing low would have been swiftly raised to below this the moment the 2 candle was completed. And it would have certainly been raised at least to the middle of the 2 candle the moment the 3 candle was near completion. The moment the 3 candle completed, I would have set my stop loss below the 3 candle. Oh, to look at multiple stuff? I don't know if that's going to mess me up like going forward. Like, I don't know how that thing works, so I don't mess with it. I'll still get distracted, don't worry. Right, so if I was to jump on this trade with a 2 trading above the 1, now notice I never had a chance to jump on this trade because the 2 never traded above the 1. And then the 3 never traded above the 2. And then we go to the downside. But this is the first time I get a chance to get into the trade.
You ignore the 213s.
I kind of ignore it, yeah.
Are there any
I kind of ignore it, but maybe I shouldn't have, right? I mean, look, that seems to have marked the high.
Are there any studies on this indicator and the psychological aspect of why it does what it does and why people are reacting that way?
I haven't seen any, but there could be. I don't think it's popular enough for those kinds of studies.
Yeah, earlier you mentioned studies like that. Where, when you say you see them, is there a good source that those studies come out on, or?
Not that I'm aware of. All right, let's see. One more shot here. I actually really like this. I'm actually going to go to a higher level time frame. Maybe even a 5 minute. Now again, ideally you want to break out above like all this mess. But here's a 5 minute time frame. Maybe I should go to a 10-minute time frame. Now, like,
That would have been good to get
not actually, no. Because it would have been good to get it on at the 8, right? Because if you miss this 1 candle, now you're chasing. You got to wait for 3 to be above the 2, but you're still almost chasing, right? So it would have been great to get in right off the doji, above the doji.
So even though it's 8, but because it's a reversal doji, like that indicator.
Yeah.
Entry. Okay.
Yeah, I would use the 9 itself as the entry. Correct. And it's a very, very tight stop loss, yeah. next chance you get, but I don't like to chase. Probably why I screw up my. I got very greedy with my limit orders on GBTC when it was like $200. I wanted it for like 190, and I never got filled, and then I didn't feel like chasing. And next thing I know, GBTC is at 5,000. So yeah. Look, I'm never upset about a trade I don't make. I'm more upset about a bad trade I do make. There's always another trade.
That 8 is that a spinning top or a doji, or it doesn't matter what you call
It
it?
doesn't matter what you call it.
Okay, same idea.
All right, guys. Any other questions? We're getting ready to the end here. We got a few more minutes.
Talk a little bit about strategies that you use as far as you talked about earlier about layering bids to kind of maybe you would do a 10% to pull some profit off the table.
Right. I would never do like 10%. I would either like 25% of a trade would be the smallest I ever go in and out. Like I don't do micro entry and exits. So like 25% would be the smallest, or the smallest I get in and the smallest I get out.
So potentially leaving maybe 25% with a longer stop loss to
Right.
see if it's going to bounce up.
Right.
Maybe a little tighter with the upgrade or some of that.
Right. So for an example, I guess let me go to a lower level time frame. I guess this would be a really good entry, right, on a 5-minute chart on a 2 above the 1. Obviously, I mean, I wasn't in it, but
Well, so that's what I was asking earlier. When it blasts off to 850 or whatever, at what point do you decide to get into it because you know it's going to go hit 11?
so there's your stop loss if you enter on 2 above the 1. Now, this is actually really good because you're coming off of a 9 that gave you a 1 to 4 candle reversal, and now you're going higher. So you also started the countdown 1, 2, 3 up to a 13. So this would be an awesome entry on a 5-minute chart, with that being your initial stop loss, which at this point, now that you're making money, can now be raised up to here.
I totally agree. But what if you're on a different pattern and you miss it?
Then you still have one more chance to get in right now. I would be okay getting in right now. In fact, if you were nervous about this trade initially, you can go in halfway and you can double down right now. But if this 3 candle is an up candle, I would not be chasing it on a 4.
That's what I was doing. Sometimes it works.
Sometimes.
Like just like every time.
Can you want to go into like 4-hour and zooming out so we can see the all-time high?
I don't think 4 hours is what you want to do on that.
Well,
I think you want to do daily. All-time high? Like which high are we looking for here?
yeah. So you take 20,000 and
I think it's getting so cluttered.
that's basically that triangle.
Right.
And you draw a trend line on the top of that big triangle.
Well, it's here.
Yeah.
But it's a 2-point trend line.
Right. If this current run makes it to a 9 and reverses right on that trend line, will that be 3 touches and then it'll be a trend line and then it's going to be really hard to break?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it goes north of that red dotted line, we're in clear air, right?
Well, no, it would literally need to go north of that.
Like
It would have to go north of this Fibonacci line.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, if we go north of this Fibonacci line, I'm bullish to 25,000.
Yeah.
Because if we go north of this Fibonacci line, all I have is double tops. And I know those are not going to hold.
But yeah, if we turn right around on that trend line.
Right.
triangle that almost matches the 50% Fibonacci might be a big resistance?
I do. I also think the 50-day moving average that we're about to hit soon is going to be resistance, right?
Okay.
They're in the same cluster. I talked about it this morning. I know a lot of you probably missed that video. The cluster of 50-day moving average, the setup trend dotted line, and this Fibonacci line is a triple cluster at 11,300, which could put an end to this bullish run for at least a little while. But this 4 candle is huge. So if the 5 candle gives you a bit of a doji style, you have plenty of room to go down for a few days and still get a 9 to the upside. But getting a 9 to the upside, again, is that double-edged sword, right? Is it a reversal or is it the beginning of a countdown? And once you determine that, you jump on the trade. That's why Wall Street likes to see the 9 first.
Oh, from the weekly time frame, what are you looking for next? I know it's like on a 6 count right now.
Well, again, the only thing I'm looking for now is my price flip. That's it. Yeah, I'm looking for a green 1, a green 2 above it. That's all I'm looking for at this point. Because based on all traditional metrics, you had a reversal candle and you're trading above it. So the only thing that's left, I mean, you have a little bit of a Fibonacci line to clear, but it'll clear around the same time you're going to flip colors, right? So at this point, all I'm looking for is the price flip and then 2 above 1.
Goes back to 6. It's not staying there. 15,000 or 1,500.
It was like 6,000 and everyone's like, oh my god.
Yeah, well, break 6, 5's probably not going to hold it. And under 5 is either looking at 3,500 or 1,300.
Yeah.
How do you set out the moving average on TradingView?
Oh, so if you go to your indicators, by the way, for those that don't know, to get the time scripts, you're all gonna have an invite only section, and in there, whatever has the green lock on it, you can use. Okay.
We don't have those other ones.
Those are older actually. Yeah, those were like first attempts. You may not have these because I don't know if I'm going to create a whole new one or I'm going to update one of these. I haven't thought about it yet. So you have these built in everything, and you can look for whatever you like. So you can look for average. Right, so there they are. If you put a star on it, it shows up in your own personal favorite section. So I have moving averages in here. You also have moving average exponential. So moving average, you click on it, and it gets added. And now the default for some reason is 9 periods. I don't know why. So all you got to do is go into settings of the indicator itself, change it to whatever period you like 128. Style allows you to pick a color. Again, whatever you like. Make it red. And then you can choose your line style. And there it is right there.
Is there a way to lock in, so you can see the daily 50 and the daily 200 no matter what time frame you're in?
Maybe. If not, I'm sure someone has a script for that.
Yeah.
I just look for TEMA, TEMA, and it'll do that.
Well, no, doesn't that put it on the time frame that you're in?
It works for in every time frame, I think.
Yeah, it does. But if you're in the hourly, it shows you 50 hours. If you're in the daily, it shows you. I'm saying locked in.
That's what it should do. That's what it should do. I mean, someone was trying to write up at the top of your trading view right here. It would actually show you what time indicator count you were on upper level time frames. So right above here, it would be daily is on 5 green, and weekly is on 2 red. So even though you're looking at a 4-hour chart, you can see what the counts are on upper level time frames. So that's something neat. So yeah, it is useful. After we're done with the actual like indicator stuff, we're gonna try and maybe bring that in future code updates. I'm hoping forever. But there are things outside of my control. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I mean, from what I've seen, if you're patient and wait for the 9s, it's really, really good. Like people have pointed them out to me. So obviously, again, just like in that video, I'm not gonna show you the ones that didn't work. But I remember many that looked awesome, like and on major time frames. Like for example, here is like something like the Tron scam. Right? And like here's what happened during the pump, and there it is, right? Right, that's on daily, right? So okay, and then on the way down, look like it helped you on the other way as well. Like it doesn't always work, but when it does, it is like it's pretty awesome. Um, uh, like again, like some of them were just pointed out to me, like here is Zcash. And again, this is daily, so this is like my favorite time frame. And here's that big Zcash pump. Right, and there it is again. Now again, you got to be careful with the volume. This is clearly a reversal candle with a shitload of selling pressure. To me, this is a bearish volume spike, not a bullish one, because of the shape of the candle. Yeah, and
I think with the altcoins too, a lot of it's tied to Bitcoin. Well, currently it is. So
right.
using Bitcoin as like your higher level, then looking at altcoin.
And like here's Ripple, my favorite. Right, so there's a couple of them, right? So I had the 4-hour. I think I was looking at it on BitMax. There's a few of them there. Ripple weekly. I don't have the weekly anymore. Oh, fake Bitcoin. Oh, but I changed the ticker. Fake Bitcoin was BCH before. Like that's current Zcash. Like here's Ripple weekly, right? Like this is before that big pump of Ripple. This is the weekly chart, right? So so this is Ripple at the very low, right? So this is Ripple at 0.00002, and this is Ripple at like 100x more, right? Only 3 zeros there, right? So so this is the weekly chart of Ripple, and yeah, if you like wait for those 9s, it could do well. And I think when I was looking at Ripple XRP BTC, what is it on BitMax? How does BitMax do it?
You're halfway down, XRP. Oh, it's USD. Oh, down. Yeah.
There it is. So I was looking also during that pump, right? I mean, if you take a look at, this is the daily. So this is the daily XRP on BitMax, and this is that big pump of XRP, and that's how the daily ended. That's how the Ripple pump ended on daily, and that's what you want to see, a 9 with a reversal candle. And if this wasn't, and if you wanted to zoom in on this daily 9 on BitMax at the all-time high of Ripple, here's the 4-hour.
That was such like a long way. Have you like set your like losses or profit taking like within that, right? Like just the breaks. Like even if you know that's a good 4 hour, what do you?
You have to set it above the wick, right? I mean, you have no choice.
Isn't that the blue line?
Well, the blue line is not, the blue line is above the wick plus the range of the candle.
Well, I'm saying you're guiding us. Where do you start shorting?
I start shorting the moment it crosses the below the reversal candle.
Okay, so you don't go for anything really.
What do you mean high stuff? It's just one candle later.
Trying to short the top.
You can try and short the top, but you don't know where the top is.
Well, that's my question.
Well, only if it's a 9, I can try and guess where the top is. But again, I have to be close to the end of the. I have to have confidence that the candle is going to close on a reversal candle, right? If I have confidence that the candle is going to close on a reversal candle, then sure. Okay, guys. And that daily 9, inside that daily 9, you had this 4-hour 9 on Ripple, right? So it's so again, and then it went right into the other 9, helping you know when to take profits and potentially go back to the upside. More recent look at Ripple, I have no idea what it's gonna look like. All right, well, here's another one, right? Like it's a pump, and it was right. It helps you, get in, get out, and not nothing really. I mean, you had this 13 on a reversal candle. Again, when I get my arrows on reversal candles, it's very different than I get my arrows without the reversal candles. It's a completely different trading environment, for me anyway. And that's what I look for. I need more than one thing in order to take on a trade.
I'm also not sure about the 13. What does it mean exactly?
So the 13s usually begin after the 9th setup. And when the 9 does not lead to a complete reversal, and the 9 is treated as a trend versus the end of trend, the 13s exhaust the trend that begin by the 9. But it's all in the documentation, so you really want to read that. All right.
With the new code of the aggressive 13 on it?
Yeah, that's the A13 that you see on the screen. Yeah. Right. All right, guys, we're pretty much at 5 o'clock. Last question.
TradingView. So I only started using it on your recommendation before. I signed up using your affiliate link on the website. I'm currently a trial member. If anybody would like to buy some Bitcoin on Monero, they can sign me up with their credit card from trial full membership.
You can pay with Bitcoin.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Okay, then don't worry.
100% sure.
I thought I had a credit card.
You can pay TradingView accepts Bitcoin.
Okay, cool.
You don't like, you say not to short. Yeah.
Oh, what's up? Oh, thank you. Thanks, guys.